Hello everybody. Welcome to the stream. That's a little bit louder than I thought that was. I thought I'd have some nice little bit of introduction music. We'll see how it goes if I want to keep it around for the future. I don't know yet. Yeah, hello, welcome in. We are going to have a little bit of a chat about the Max Wober stuff, because we had a little bit of an update that I wasn't quite expecting to see. Well, specifically, we were all expecting him to leave, but the specifics of him leaving are the thing that not everyone was quite seeing coming. So we'll have a little bit of a talk about that. We'll have a talk about basically whatever we're feeling like. There's a couple of other bits of news that I want to sort of talk about, but not delve into. That'll be hopefully for very obvious reasons. And we'll see how we go. But before I do so, I'm going to do the plug thing. Down below, you will see the link to the Leeds Creator Cup. We are currently 16 days away from the big day, where we will have a bar open. We'll have a bunch of Leeds United creators, so at worst you can have a pint with Jer or something. I don't know. Big game of charity football. Every single penny that is being paid into on tickets or donations or anything like that is going into the event itself. Costs are covered by sponsors and by me. So I hope to see that. It'll be a fantastic day and just a good time. I'm really looking forward to it at this point. So hopefully I will see you there. And if not, you can always watch online. It'll be great. Anyway, yeah, the interesting bit of news, and this is to sort of cover what has just been said by Deck, who says there won't have been much interest in Wober and he'll be on large wages, get him out with his wages covered and let him prove himself to drive his transfer fee up, is that Max Wober has left the club, not on a permanent basis, but on loan. A lot of the conversation in recent days was that he was going to be leaving permanently, and that would be that. And it would be all good, fine, be gone, Max. So long, thanks for all the fish, toodaloo. This is where I think we have to talk PSR again. Because when it comes to the PSR numbers, you've got two issues going on. One, you've got the issue of Max Wober as a player right now is not super valuable. You look at everything that he's done in recent years, you look at his, as has been mentioned by Pete down here, his injury record and the fact that he spends significant chunks of a season out and unavailable. You sort of need to look at the fact that, well, who would sign him? He's not a super viable player, which will push his value down. So the numbers that were discussed recently were £1 or £2 million, something like that. Then you bump into the follow-up issue, which is, well, what is StreamYard gone? There's StreamYard gone. That's fine. Not StreamYard, Streamlabs, that one. Which is, well, okay, but at the same time as book value at the moment at Leeds United, which is the fact that a player's value over the length of their contract will decrease, is currently sat at something like 4 or 5 million quid, which we would need to earn back in the form of fees in order for it to be worth our while. So that's where we bump into the issue. We can't sell the guy because he wouldn't reach his book value, and that means we'd be able to spend less on other players, which puts even more pressure on the club. And this is where PSR has a big pissing problem. It's nonsense. You can sign a player. If they don't prove to be good enough, then sure, that's okay. They can just wait around and chill out on the bench, except they can't just do that because their value will collapse. And this is where we pop into what Dan has just mentioned with Baron Cross, who currently works at The Athletic, mentioning that maybe if he goes out, he'll get more minutes, and if he gets more minutes, his value will increase and potentially plays at the World Cup, which will again further increase his value, and then maybe we can sell him next year. That's stupid. And the reason that that is stupid is because of PSR stuff. It's because it's absolute nonsense. It's because you're not comparing how much a club is actually earning compared to how much a club is actually making. You're comparing what some accountancy structure believes a football player's value to be against what they're actually worth. Because Max Wober right now is not worth £5 million to a hell of a lot of clubs, including basically any clubs that are looking at any decent level of football. Hold on, I need to sort of jank with the camera again. There we go. Realistically, Max Wober's value is that 1 or 2 million quid because we can't find anywhere for the guy. But we're forced to keep him on the books because some statistic in the background is saying, well, actually, I think he's worth this much. When he's not. Let's be completely honest with ourselves. He is not worth 4 or 5 million quid. And the whole thing's frustrating. Hopefully the wages are fully covered. I'm going to have a quick look through Berran's article in a minute. But the on-loan aspect is what's going to infuriate a lot of people, including me. So let's have a very, very quick skim, if I can find it. And we have to be clear as well. Just, like the comment layout. Thank you very much, Leeds United. This is what I do when I'm over in Streamlabs, which is a quite nice little thing that I set up, and hopefully people enjoy it. Hold on, how do I do it? So, no, yeah, that way, cool. Okay, so if it's all this bit of wall over here, then it's also against a nice plain background. If I move the microphone as well to about there, that'll do. But this is where it gets weird, because we got Beal in. He's going to start, probably. We got Bornauin, who's probably going to be a backup, which means that Wober's not going to do either of those jobs, and he's not going to be a starting left-back, because he wasn't even a starting left-back when it was Junior Firpo in front of him, or when Sam Byram was an option in front of him. So it's not going to happen for him. So he needs to be elsewhere. Specifically reading through the Athletics article, he'll spend the campaign with Werder Bremen, season-long loan, falling down the pecking order after the moves, etc., etc. It's been agreed to aid Leeds United's profit and sustainability picture. Signed for 11 million in January of 2023 on a contract running till 2027, which means that his book value would be 5-ish million, because you're taking a percentage off for every year of the contract. So next season it'll be about 2.5 million quid. Which means that next season we'll have to find a move for £2.5 million, which I don't think he's worth now, but we'll have to find out how that one goes. Under our projections, it would have sort of harmed us if we would have sold him for less than that 4.8. So loan agreement, it might increase his sort of sale value next season, whilst his book value will decrease because it's stupid. What else has he said? There was the thing with Wober saying that Wober saying to Austrian media, Leeds have made it clear they want to sell me something, I don't want to rot on a bench in England, which felt needless, especially if we weren't able to find a move for him. But if he's feeling especially brave, absolutely go for that. Why not? The Gladbach move was based on that weird thing where Victor Orta was like, all of our players can leave on loan, actually, which was incredibly stupid. On the could play Harrison at left back thing, bloody well hope not. There has been a report earlier today that said that Jack Harrison might be sticking around at Everton, but there was a fan poll run by an Everton channel on Twitter, because I'm not calling it X because fuck you, Elon Musk, that showed something like 75% of Everton fans didn't want to keep him. Which was nuts. Like, the amount of people that are just like, no, I'm not going to be keeping Jack Harrison is great and is a really fun sign for us going forwards. There has been a report from Werder Bremen themselves, and this is fun, this is something I'm just learning, saying they've secured their first new signing ahead of 25-26, they've signed Max Wober, etc. Loan deal with a buy option. The buy option makes this more interesting for me, because we will have set that number at the number that we need at whatever point we need it to be. I think in theory what we may have done is set the buy option to expire early July next year. So the contract will tick over to the next year, which means that that book value is lower, which means that whatever fee is agreed will probably turn out as a book profit for me. On this, fellow Joseph Spiteri specifically, you're saying bad business by Leeds again, summer transfer window not going well so far. We've spent very little on players that are going to be backups. That is fine. If we were spending quite a lot on players that were going to be backups, that would be bad business. In addition to that, we've gotten a player out and their wages off the books. I'm just going to quickly have a check of what's the name of the website. That one. It's the contract one. There we go. So A, we can say it's bad business. I would rather we do this than sell him for 3 million and we have to take a £2 million PSR hit this season, which means that we can't spend as much. But Max Wober currently is on... Why is it showing per year? That's a fucking pain. $1.8 million a year. So we'll divide that by 50. 800,000 over 50, 36 grand a week. Lucas Nemec is not going to be on more than that. So loaning out Wober has meant that we're able to fund the signing of Nemec, which means that we have a decent backup striker now. I don't mind that in the slightest. I'll be completely honest with you. It's fine enough. The entire situation is, I wish we would have been able to have it in the players' contracts when we got relegated that when we went down, they were gone. It's fine. We would sell them, like we would have sold Jack Harrison, we would have sold Max Wober, we would have sold whoever the hell else. Rasmus Christensen took far too long to get rid of. But we didn't. And that was a mistake that we made in the past. And I'm not going to put that one on the 49ers, I'm going to put that one on the guy whose responsibility it was to do contracts, which in that case was Victor Orta. But now is the point where we need to start doing better. We need to prove that we are doing better, and I think we will absolutely do so. I've got no problems with that. I'm feeling decent about the business that we've done so far, and I hope that we're able to keep that momentum going and get some of the bigger signings in throughout next week, because I think we will do. I think that will happen. Overall, do what Harrison did, go on until his contract's nearly over. I don't know about that, because the buy option in this one is promising for me. If he does reasonably well for Werder Bremen, there's no reason they won't trigger that, because it'll be affordable by that point, because they will have negotiated to a point where they're able to have that conversation. On the subject of being able to have that conversation, this is going to be a fairly difficult one, right? But there are, and this is one where I want the comment section's opinions on it. And I will cover more of the Leedsy news as it goes on, but sometimes I will want to go outside of Leedsy news because I think there's more important things to be discussed. So, I'm sure everyone will have seen the news around Thomas Partey today. The fact that he has been charged with all of the things that he was accused of 3 years ago. Like almost exactly 3 years ago. The initial arrest of unnamed Premier League midfielder came in July of 2022. And this isn't going to be a fun video or stream when I do it, and I know for a fact that my comment section will be absolutely on fire. But a lot about that has really, really gotten under my skin. And in a way that I very much sort of want to talk about, in a way that I feel like needs discussing. Because if it isn't discussed, then we're going to be in a position where everyone's sort of sat thinking, oh, this is fine, come by, all that kind of stuff. And like, it's a topic that doesn't hugely affect Leeds United, and this is why I want to get the opinion of the comments on it. But I think looking at the way that Arsenal have dealt with the situation around Thomas Partey compared to other clubs is disgusting, to be honest. And I genuinely think it's worth a stream or a video going through the facts of it and going, look, this entire situation, this is messed up. And bringing a little bit more sort of light to the entire thing. But I want to know what the comments would think around something like that before I go ahead and do it, because I don't hugely want to sort of do a thing that no one would want to have a look at. Especially since I know that the comment section on that would be, to be clear, a fucking nightmare. It would be horrific, because it would immediately get filled up with Arsenal fans and apologists, Ghanaian national team fans and apologists, and people who just generally go, it's nonsense, let's not bother with it. But I feel like it's one of those topics that sort of needs to be covered. And if no one does, then a lot of people will be let down. And I just kind of want people's opinions on that, because it's a tough one, I think. So I'm going to do that as a poll. I might do it anyway, but this is more of a sort of guiding poll. stream/video covering the... I don't know. Because at the same time I've done stuff covering things like the TV deal. And the various bits and bobs and shits and slobs that go on in the world of football. But I don't know. It's a complicated one, and I don't know whether I want to do it. Dex Sam says, Baron is saying Robin Zentner's on the list for a goalkeeper. I will have a look at that very quickly. To be clear, this video would be a very, very carefully put together one. It would be, here are the actual facts of the situation. Here's what the club did in response. Here's what Arteta said in response. And covering all that sort of stuff. And seeing roughly where it lands. But I think it's something that needs to be spoken about beyond just the Arsenal sphere, because a lot of the Arsenal sphere has spent very, very long being borderline apologists for that behaviour, and I think it's honestly not on. On the Zentner thing, let's have a quick look. Decent when it comes to goals prevented. Save percentage is pretty strong as well. Above average with goals against, but that's not really down to him. Saves reasonable amount of penalties. He does bang it long though, and that's not the most tempting for me. His average length of goal kick is massive. Top 15%, which is scary. But I don't know. Where did you see the Zentner thing, by the way? Because I've not spotted it. Okay, there it is. Zentner at Mainz is understood to be another goalkeeper among the options Leeds have shortlisted. And that was in reply to his own tweet on the Lucas Perry stuff. Not a bad keeper. Of the two, I'd lean Perry. From everything that I've seen. Unless I've seen wrong. I'll have to have a look. Why is FB Ref not having it? There we go. Right, let's compare and contrast the two, shall we? Right, I'm gonna share my screen for this one, I think. If I can work out how to do that. That might be a little bit of a nightmare. I don't hugely know how to do that. I'll be completely honest. Okay, so if I squidge you over here, shrink you down, squidge you over here, and you over here. There we go. There we go. Right, we got data for both of them. And head over to this one. There we go. Cool. Right, okay, so this is where the numbers are. I'm going to shrink this down, actually, so we can sort of assess it like this. So this is, if I zoom in a little bit further, the sort of radar things for each of the goalkeepers that we're currently looking at. So, what we're particularly sort of eyeing up here, I hope that you can see my mouse, and also I'm going to hide the bookmarks tab just in case there's work stuff up there. Yeah, what we're looking at is mainly the blue stuff, which is how good are they at stopping goals, to be honest. Crosses stopped, also a fairly important metric, because it's a good way of sort of, is this guy going to do the job from crossed balls? But we'll see. Save percentage, genuinely similar between the two. Lucas Perry's a little bit better. So he is, I believe, in the top 22%, whereas Zentner is in the top 26%. Post-shot XG minus goals against, which is how many goals have you actually prevented, leans in favour of Lucas Perry as well, which is quite interesting. Post-shot XG per shot on target, which is sort of how difficult are the shots that you're facing. Lucas Perry has faced more difficult shots per shot on target as well, which means that save percentage is a little bit more impressive in my opinion. Save percentage for penalty kicks is admittedly leaning a little bit in Zentner's favour. But then again, how many penalty kicks are you going to be facing across the season? Another fairly intriguing part is what's going on around this area. Sort of these numbers around here, which is your passing stuff. So launch percentage is the sort of percentage of goal kicks that a goalkeeper will just bang long and see, just whack it, see who the ball ends up with. Zentner does a lot of that. And my slight concern here is that Leeds don't. We play it fairly short, which is again pushing me in the direction of Lucas Perry. Average pass length, he's in the top 10% in all of the top 5 leagues for goalkeepers in terms of passing range, which is massive. I've moved that by accident. Well done, me. I clicked in the wrong place. It is a bit negative, Blaze Ray, but I think it's something that having a wider conversation about is probably important. Like, it's not always going to be positive, but I don't know. Who the hell are you calling banana, man? Yeah, same for launch percentage on goal kicks and average length of goal kicks. Lucas Perry suits our style of keeping it relatively short. If we were to end up signing Zentner instead, that would signal to me a change in... There was a fly. A change in style. Which I don't know how I feel about that. When it comes to pass completion in terms of launched passes, roughly the same as each other, so it doesn't make that much of a difference. Bafana, I've got no idea. Crosses, Zentner's better with them, but that doesn't make that much of a difference to me. Of the two, I lean firmly towards Lucas Perry. I still might want to say Finn Dackman. Because Zentner's passing stats to be very club-based, though with Mainz not being a dominant Bundesliga club, I can imagine they play long more often than not. This is true. I fully get that. That is going to be a factor. But I think there is also discussion to be had around, is that going to affect the way that he does passing anyway? So if you've spent a year of you don't pass short, your short passing is going to suffer as a result. So I feel like there's maybe a little bit of an advantage to not doing that. I'm going to close that poll, by the way. I don't know how I feel about it, although it's interesting that you guys are leaning the way that you are. I'm going to take a quick look, because I personally am not feeling Zentner. I've got to be honest with you. But I want to have a little bit of a comparison to good buddy Finn Dackman. Because he's the guy that I lean towards the most, where stylistically, in terms of the passing stuff, again, doesn't suit us the same way that Perry does. Which is a shame, because I thought he did. But apparently not. That's fine. But it's the shot stopping. It's the shot stopping that grabs me. And admittedly, he plays a lot less minutes. He played 1,700 minutes compared to 3,990, basically 4,000. But I still maybe lean Dackman. Of the ones we're currently linked with, Perry for me. Because Perry's got the stronger link. But if those Dackman links pop up again, I've got no issue with Dackman. Because whereas with, let's bring him back, Zentner, you had slightly worse numbers than Perry, and his passing style last season didn't suit us. At least whilst the passing style doesn't suit from Dackman either, at least that save percentage is bonkers, and that makes up for it a little bit, which is intriguing, I think. At least to me. At least I'm intrigued, but I kind of want to know what you guys are leaning on that one. When it comes to the goalkeeper, I genuinely I'm sort of in the position that Andy is, where if they are just good at their stuff, if they can make decent quality saves, if they can hold the line to a decent standard, I'm not going to be too mad whoever it is. If they get the job done, they get the job done. That's what matters. But that's where it gets a little bit complicated, I think. Somewhere else that gets a little bit complicated is when you guys haven't got tickets to the Leeds Created Cup. Down below. £7 for adults, £3 for kids. Going to be a very, very fun day. Come along. Be lovely to see as many people there as possible. Looking forward to it. But it's going to be a relatively sort of chill remainder of stream, just answering various questions and bits and bobs that pop up, which should be quite fun. I always like doing these ones because it's nice and chillaxed, isn't it? It's proper chill up in the corner. Let's have a look at what else. Interestingly, Leeds didn't mention the optional sale clause in our thing on Wober, which I find odd, but I think it's interesting. I would also like to know what people's main sort of views are on the kit, right? Because for me, I kind of like it. I enjoy the kit. I've done a poll on my community page just to sort of gain a sense of like where people are sitting on it. But for me, it's all right enough. I don't mind that. What happens if we drink the bar dry at the Creators Cup? If somehow we drink the bar dry, well done. I'll be completely honest. In that case, 10 out of 10. Good work. Lovely kit, just a tad boring. I think the issue is... Let's get that out of view if I can. There we go. No, back out of... There we go. The issue is, plain white kits, there's not a lot that you can do. And a lot of people's complaints about last season's kit was that it had like the blue flares up the side. People were mad at that, and that's fair enough. I wasn't a big fan of the blue flares either, but it's fine. This kit has gotten rid of those, and it's added the low fieldy stuff. Now, I don't know whether it's the low fieldy stuff that people don't like, or the fact that it's similar to last season's kit, but for me, I like it. I enjoy it. What can I say? Right, what I'm going to do, actually, is I'm going to go to F11, full screen this. I'm going to create a new scene. I'm going to call it second screen. So I can actually have my second monitor doing things. You may not be able to see me anymore, but that's fine. Because you will be able to hear me. So, oh, we're back. Right, so if I drag that into there... No, hold on. Okay, it's gonna stay black for a minute, but it will just do that. So we're gonna have to deal with it. Screen capture, add source, not that one. Add a new source. Monitor 2. And it'll be that one. Done. Cool. I'm guessing you guys can see this right now. Sorry, it's become a tech support one again. Just for a moment. So if you guys are going to have to see OBS for a second, but it's fine. So if I take this one, copy, and paste it in here. Way! And I take the chat box, copy, and paste it in here. And I take the text-to-speech, copy, and paste it in here. There we go. We've got the kits sorted. Bosh. Pop it to about here so it's halfway up the screen. One more pixel. There we go. Cool. Yeah, I don't hate that. I enjoy it. A lot of people might not, but the Goalkeeper shirt looks good. I like that Goalkeeper shirt. It's a very nice Goalkeeper shirt. 1 second. I'm going to switch over to... That's not that one. That's that one. Sorry, I am all over the shop today. So if I search Leeds United shop... It is full Fanatics mode now as well. Maybe move JB to the left. How do you mean move JB to the left? I'm confused. But then again, I'm always confused. I quite like training wear as well. There's like blue stripe here, yellow stripe here, Very nice. I like it. If you think last year's white was boring and no imagination, check out early 70s plain white blue, thin blue LUFC. I like the moving screens. How do you mean the moving screens? I don't know. I do need to set it up on my stream deck though. Once I've done that, I'll be more happy. But right, where are we? Kits. Right, goalkeeper. Let's have a look. Because I do like a good goalkeeper kit. And this goalkeeper kit. Oh. Oh. Which one is it? It's not that one, it's that one. Look at that! Yes, please. I will have that every day of the week. Because I love a good goalkeeper kit. Oh, wait, hold on. I've ordered that wrong. Yep. Fixed. Sunderland fan hoping we can get Guendouzi in before pre-season. You have to get Guendouzi? Why are you after another midfielder? What are you doing? You've done Diarra. You've done Diarra. You've done Sadiki. Why do you need Guendouzi? But yeah, it's very pretty. Oh, I want one. I don't know why there's a focus on that a little bit, but oh, so nice. Not as bad as rhubarb and custard. I liked the rhubarb and custard. I've got to be honest with you. I think that was a nice kit. What's under retro? Ooh. I've got one of these, but the YEP one. That's quite nice. Have they stopped doing the YEP one? Oh. I've got a rare beast. Right, let's have a look at the training one as well. This is the training one I was talking about. Yeah. With the, it's not great because like the angle only shows the yellow, but you can see the blue sneak through around here. Is it? Why is it not one of the like spinny roundy ones? That's kind of annoying. But yeah, yellow stripe up here, blue stripe down here, following the same pattern. I enjoy that, to be honest. I'm a fan. I love that this has just become a kit stream. This just happens sometimes, you know. You want to show us that? No, okay, we're not showing us the away kit yet. Are we showing us the third kit? Oh no, of course not. That would be too nice. Let's have a look at what is under like the stupid expensive gifts and accessories. What's the most expensive gift or accessory that you can get on the Leeds United shop? Don't tell me. Oh, okay. Sold by highest price. Let's have a look. Signed Gordon Strachan shirt. Fair enough. Yeah. Some cufflinks. Alan Clark signed storyboard. A leather backpack. Nothing as nuts as I thought, to be honest with you. Like, down here we're already at 40 quid. Which is admittedly a fair whack for a backpack, but... What else is there? That's the entire gift and accessories bit as well. In fact, get rid of equipment, because I don't care about equipment. What's the most expensive thing on the Leeds United shop? It's the Strachan thing. Okay, fair enough. Followed by a Gruev home shirt from this season. Why is it Gruev? Because they're all the same price. Don't know. Gabriel Suazo. I've never heard of Gabriel Suazo, I've got to be honest with you. That's the wrong one again. Right. Most expensive gifts is Melio and Gold. No, those came for free. They came all the time. They were a dime a dozen. €100 for me for the home kit with Tanaka on the back. Liberty. I mean, football shirts are just expensive. Like that's how it works. It's a shame, but it is. It's how it goes. Didn't Spurs have a white kit with Amstrad? I've got no idea, to be honest with you. I can have a look if you want, but right, I was checking Swazo because I don't know that now. 20 quid at the end of the season. Yeah. Which helps. Let's have a look. It doesn't... It gets forward a bit. He's creative. Has he been linked with anyone? Like, or is it just a sort of name that you've pulled out? Because I've seen nothing linking us with Swaza. I've seen nothing linking anyone with Swaza, to be honest. Rather get a retro kit each season, they look better than the latest kits. I firmly disagree. If you need evidence, this one. Right here. This kit is my evidence. Because it's a banger. And it's a banger that I promise you almost everyone will be wearing on the opening day of next season. There might be a chance that people instead opt for... where did my words go? Yeah, there might be a chance that people opt for the new away kit, which, sure, that's fine, but it's far from guaranteed. Right, okay. Why am I not able to... Okay, if I drag and drop. Okay. So if I turn that to rename first screen... Wait, hold on. Ah. Rename to full face. Why not? That'll do. And then that becomes full face. I'm going to rename it to face. I need to change icon. Is there one with a face? No. Is there one with a head? No. You see, this is the part where I'm just faffing about with some like behind scenesy bits. And I deeply apologise, but then again, it needs doing, so sod you. Okay. Wait, did that not configure? Oh, you bastard. Why are you not having it? Okay. There we go. That one's configured. And I'll fix the others in a little bit, that's fine. See that Petrovic's favourite sign for us apparently is agreed at 21 million with add-ons. If you are a Sunderland fan, then I have. If he's happening to come to Leeds, that would be very, very nice. Please, 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 please. Then that's news to me, but I know for a fact that you're a Sunderland fan. So, screw you. Right. That one is currently called Phil, but I will rename it to not be Phil. That comes from the time I did a interview with Phil Hay forever ago. No, not Elgato. Well, I mean, yes, Elgato in a way, but not Elgato. Okay, so you can be that one. Nice. And then that's monitor 1. Nice. And then this one will be... And this is purely so I can do a little bit of testing in a minute. That one. I'll take you to second screen. So in theory, right, if I press this button, yes! Okay, very nice. Very happy with that. Okay, and then back to face, nice. And then I'm going to flick this one, and then over to there. Okay, cool. I'm liking it. I've fixed things. I've not broken everything. We truly love to see it. Leeds need to change the shirt designers if there's still a space for boxed. What do you mean a space for boxed? They weren't the designers, they were just sponsors. And they're probably on the sleeve, I guess. Have we got a sleeve sponsor? I've not actually looked at that. I don't see a sleeve sponsor. So I guess there is space for boxed. It's just on one of the sleeves. 5 Man United players told not to come back for pre-season until July to give them time to get sold. Apparently, Sky are saying, are they? Which players? I'm going to assume Rashford. Rashford, Garnacho, Sancho, Antony, and Malacia. That's a bit nuts. According to Nathan Salt. Who do you work for? The Daily Mail. Okay, it's lost a little bit of grab. Yeah, it's weird. Anthony will have found a club. That's already sorted. Rashford is interested in from various places. Garnacho, I can see finding a move. Sancho will be difficult. Malacia can probably find something, but I mean the entire thing's a mess. If we'd gotten Bulker, I would have been happier. I don't know. Sorry, Joe, just what's the latest Leeds United news? The latest Leeds United news was that Wober has left on loan rather than a permanent deal, which is difficult, to be honest. You take Garnacho. In terms of the player's quality, I agree. In terms of the fact that he seems like a massive bell end, I disagree. And that's the kindest way that I can possibly say that. Oh, it's raining proper good right now, isn't it? Yeah, I wouldn't want him, but that's fine. Have Leeds sold anyone yet to make money? Have we? Christensen a few months back. Other than that, I don't believe so, but we're fairly decent from a PSR perspective from last year's lot. For PSR reasons, meaning we won't get a decent amount now. What? How do you mean? No, we've loaned him for PSR purposes because if we were to sell him... Wait, yeah, sorry, I've confused myself. We wouldn't make a PSR profit on him if we were to sell this season. So that would affect the amount of business that we could do. Might have cashed in on 1 or 2. We thought that would be Wober. We also think that will be Jack Harrison. But we'll see. We'll see. Anyway, what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring the stream to a close in a moment because I will be completely honest with you. I'm on the tired side. I've got a bolognese to make in the coming hours, I guess. And then I've got stupidly late work shift tonight. So if I'm streaming at stupid o'clock, either tomorrow morning or tonight, we'll see. We'll find out. But I hope you enjoyed the stream. If you did, please pop a like on it. It's always massively appreciated. Subscribe if you haven't yet. As I've mentioned time and time again, for every subscriber that I've got at full time in the charity match that is on the 20th of July, you can get tickets as well. I'll be donating an extra 1p to Prostate Cancer UK, which is going to be absolutely wonderful. The more people can subscribe, the more broke I will become, and the more we will be supporting a very, very worthwhile charity. What I'm going to do before I send you off, though, is I'm going to ping you over to Mr. Joe Wainman, who will be continuing this Max Wober flavoured conversation. And yeah, I'm going to leave that there. Hope you all enjoyed, and I will be seeing you later. Toodaloo. Also, when you're in his chat, we'll shout up the roses or something. That'll do. Why not? Hope you enjoyed.